It's a really cloudy day and it's really windy, and there's actually rain in the forecast. So Jenny and I have just been having a day in the RV, and we plan on running into town and getting some groceries. We are staying on BLM land just northwest of Las Vegas near Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area off of a road called Mormon Well Road. The road in off the highway was paved to a certain point, and then we had to drive for about a half mile to a mile on really bumpy road. It was well graveled, so our traction was really good, but it was incredibly bumpy, so we went really slow, about 8 miles an hour. So it took us a little while to find a site, but we finally found one, and it is awesome. This is everything we hope for in a site. It is incredibly far from everything. We can't even see the nearest RV. There are like no sites near us, and we're incredibly far off of the interstate, about 5, maybe 6 miles. So the only sound you can hear out here is the wind and the occasional coyote howl. It's awesome. This is BLM land, which means it's free. And if you've been following us, you know that Jenny and I boondock on free land, whether it's BLM land, national forest, whatever, almost exclusively. And that is a huge reason that we are able to afford this lifestyle, because if we were staying in RV parks, spending $25 a day on average, that would add up to almost $10,000 a year. So free camping like this is one big reason we can continue to live like this. Now, we've been getting a lot of questions on how we afford the full-time RV, because a lot of you want to do it too, and you're wondering, how do they do it? So this is actually one of the big reasons that allows us to live the full-time RV lifestyle. Really, the biggest reason that we can afford to full-time RV and full-time travel is that we just live as inexpensively as possible. Now, when you're traveling, there are a lot of opportunities to spend a lot of money. You know, if you're going to expensive attractions, if you're eating out all the time, like that's gonna get expensive really fast. So we get around that by doing a lot of free things. We'll go on hikes in national parks, national forest. We'll see the nature attractions that typically don't cost anything. And we try to avoid going out to eat as much as possible. Like, we will every now and then for occasions, but for the most part, we try to avoid sit-down restaurants. And Jenny's actually making us one of our typical lunches, which is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I don't want to make you think that, we eat PB&Js all the time. We're living off these things, but we do eat them quite often. They're cost-effective, they're cheap, and I actually like them. I love them. I
mean, we also eat, tuna sandwiches and turkey sandwiches and lots of sandwiches.
We eat a lot of sandwiches for lunch.
Yeah, but if you want my peanut butter and jelly sandwich recipe, we'll include it in the blog post.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put the PB&J recipe in the blog post. And Sweetie actually also likes peanut butter, so it all works out.
Just clean it off the best you can.
How much we spend directly affects how long we're able to full-time travel. So we really try to live as inexpensively as we can and as minimally as we can. And honestly, I think the full-time RV lifestyle kind of lends itself to a minimalist lifestyle, because your RV is only so big, so you really can't fit a lot of stuff in it. So you can't just keep continually buying stuff. And we really just buy what we need.
We spend most of our money on food and fuel, honestly.
Yeah, in that order. It's our budget shows that our two largest costs is food from the grocery store and diesel. But Jenny and I are going to head into Las Vegas now, because we need to replace the waste valve that goes on the end of our black and gray tank dump tube that allows us to combine our black and our gray tank into just one big gray tank. We have a composting toilet, so we don't need to use our black tank for its purpose, and we can therefore use it as a second gray tank. So what this valve allows us to do is open up both black tank and gray tank valves, but leave that valve closed. And then as the gray tank fills, it just backfills the black tank. So we actually have about double the gray tank storage of a typical RV of our size. But as we were coming into this BLM site, we hit a big bump, and that tube bottomed out on the ground, and it broke the fingers, two of the fingers that actually, that twist on just like a dump hose would, there's two fingers that are still there and two that broke off. So the valve doesn't seal up anymore, so we need a new one. And while we're in Vegas, we're actually going to fill our propane tank, and we're gonna go to the grocery store because we need some cat litter and other stuff. I'm not gonna bore you with those details, but that is one way we actually save money and lower the cost of our second biggest expense, which is diesel, and that is by consolidating trips. We don't go into town unless we need to. Like, we're running low on propane, we're running low on food, etc. We need some part for the RV, whatever. We don't go into town if we don't need to. And when we do go into town, we get done as much in town as we possibly can to lower those trips. Because, typically we're pretty far away. Like right now we're like 20 miles from Vegas, I think, and that's pretty typical. We're like 20 to 30 miles from the nearest town. So we really try to limit how often we are making those type of long trips. Sweetie came along with us for this trip into town because we typically figure if we can go somewhere and bring her along with us, then we do, just so she's not stuck in the RV, bored and alone and missing us, because she misses us when we're gone.
I don't know where this came from, but she has some pretty bad separation anxiety. I don't know how that happened.
I think she just loves us that much.
I don't know.
But if we can take her, we typically do. And we're just going to some places that we're going to be in and out. So we're taking her.
Only David is going in. I'm not even going inside anywhere. So.
But another big way that we're able to afford full-time RVing is we are completely debt-free. Before hitting the road, we knew that we wanted to do this completely debt-free so that we didn't have the stress, like the weight of being in debt stressing us out while we're on the road. But not only that, we didn't want the added expense of interest on any loans to, be added cost on the road. Before hitting the road, Jenny and I had student loans, and we knew when we hit the road, we didn't want to have those. So we really focused and we paid off our student loans, before we even started the process of selling anything to become full-time RVers. And once we sold our cars and we sold our house, we had the funds available to pay for an inexpensive, economy-style, small RV and a 14-year-old used truck with cash. So we don't have any auto loans either.
It took us 7 years to get to the financial point we were at once we decided that we were going to be debt-free. And we decided 7 years ago, 2011, we decided we were going to be debt-free as fast as we possibly can. So, and it took us 7 years to get from there to our student loans are finally paid off.
Yeah.
So don't think that this happened like in a year.
No, it did not. Yeah, this was a 7-year process.
It took us a long time.
And on top of that, we also have no credit card debt. Jenny and I actually don't even use credit cards. We pay for everything with either cash or our debit card, so that, we just never have any credit card interest payments that we have to make.
So basically what we're saying is that one of the main reasons we can afford to do this is we have no debt. And for us, that was a huge factor in this. If we had any debt, whether it be, a small credit card payment or, a payment on our RV or the truck or anything like that, that would severely hamper our abilities to do this, especially in the long run. So for us, we knew we had to hit the road completely debt-free. There was no other option for us.
There was no room in the budget for it.
Not at all.
So we made it to Camping World like 5 minutes before they closed. They closed at like,
I don't know,
we're pushing it. They closed at 6 and we got here like 5:50, 5:55. So I'm like running in, getting in the door before they lock the doors on me. And I did. So we got our waste valve that, you know, goes on the end of our waste tube so that we can keep our gray tank and our black tank combined for one huge gray tank.
Yep.
And now what? What is it? Groceries?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need some groceries and we need some cat litter.
Oh, shoot. They actually just closed the doors. They just closed them and locked them. I've been out here for like, what, 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
All right, yeah.
There they go, all locked up.
Yeah, that was
oh,
close.
Gosh.
Pushing it. That's typical. Typical Heisers. So we explained how we afford to full-time RV, but how we actually fund our travels is Jenny has a remote job. We were actually lucky enough that her employer was okay with making her job remote. What she does is, what would you say, data entry type? And you call, she makes calls, she inputs information into the system. So it was a job that was...
I do audits.
Yeah, it was a job that was easily moved to a remote position. So she just works online. She remotes into her company's computer and just works, you know, from the RV on her laptop wherever we are.
Yep.
So we got pretty lucky in that. And that job pays about 3/4 of our expenses. So we're still short about 1/4 of our costs. And how we cover that expense is with the funds that are left over from when we sold our house.
Yeah.
So we're still pulling from savings this whole time. So because we rely on our savings to kind of cover the gap of our expenses, that's the main reason that we live as inexpensively and minimally as we possibly can, because we've only got so much money to live off of, and then we have to stop full-time traveling. So one day that's going to happen. So we're trying to extend that out as long as possible. And when that day comes, our plan is to anchor down somewhere for a period of time, and I'll get a temporary full-time job, and we'll just both work, stay in one location, and still spend as little money as we possibly can, save up money again, and then hit the road, wash, rinse, repeat. I'm back. We're back at the RV for the night, and while we're on our way home from running our errands, we realized, hey, we're really close to the Vegas Strip. So we decided just to drive down Las Vegas Boulevard because we've never been down there before, never driven or walked down the Strip before. So we decided, yeah, why not? We're in Vegas, so we got to check that out, so that was cool.
We did not stop and get out. We only drove through.
Yeah, we just drove, but it was neat to see. And a lot of people think that we're making a lot of money on YouTube, but that's not the case at all. Our channel is still really small, and after we've uploaded a video and it's been up for a month, we've only made about $10 to $20 off that video. So, you know, we're only putting out one video a week, so that's really only like $40 to $80 a month
Yeah.
of total YouTube ad revenue.
Doesn't even pay for
anything. Doesn't pay for anything.
Doesn't really pay for anything. Not saying that it's nothing, because it is something, but it doesn't pay for much. So
we make these videos because we just love sharing our adventures with you guys, and when we took the plunge into full-time RVing, you know, we took a really big risk. We had to sell our cars, sell our house, quit our jobs. That was our dream though, and you know, we felt like we had to chase our dream. So we just want to share our story with other people, hoping that, you know, maybe they'll see our story and they'll be inspired to chase their dream, because we couldn't be happier that we made the plunge into full-time RVing and full-time traveling. We absolutely love it.
We do. And if we knew when we decided finally to hit the road that, because we were right on the edge of, are we not? And we knew that if we didn't, we would regret it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, we didn't want to be, you know, older and think, well, what could have been? You know, so we were like, oh no, it's now that we've had this idea, it's almost a bigger risk not to do it than to do it. So, you know, we went for it, we made the plunge, and we're just incredibly happy that we did. So hopefully, you know, our story can be inspiring to other people too, to chase their dreams. So basically, we afford to full-time RV and full-time travel by keeping our expenses incredibly low. We are completely debt-free. Jenny has a part-time remote job that almost covers our expenses, and to fill the gap that her job doesn't cover, we are pulling from savings. And when our savings run low, the plan is to anchor down in a spot for a while, get a full-time job, I'll get a full-time job, and, you know, just save up money until we have enough to hit the road again, because we're hooked. We're going to do this as long as we possibly can, and there's no end in sight for us full-time RVing, and we're going to travel and see the country as often as we possibly can.
Definitely. And we know that some of you may still have questions for us, and if you do, please leave them in the comment section below, because we're happy to answer them. Really, we are. We want to help you get to where you want to be, so just let us know. And besides that, though, we're all done for the night, so if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up.
And if you want more videos from us, be sure to subscribe. And if you want more details on what we talked about today, be sure to check out the link to the blog post in the description below. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye!